Welcome to my first reaction video. As you might see, you know my profile picture, and if you have read my description, I'm Norwegian and Norway lies in Europe. And I came over, America lied to us, explaining Europe to Americans, American reacts. I started to watch this, and then I thought this would be a good video to make a reaction to, because I've always thought that reaction videos would, I think I should do this because it's tons of American reactions to Europe, but some often I've seen them coming away with the misconceptions, like they misunderstood or something. So I'm gonna see if he have some misconceptions and stuff, and also might the video they're watching might be wrong about something. Maybe the video weren't wrong and I was wrong. But I don't know, probably not. But anyways, let's get right into it.
The continent of Europe. So very different than
Okay, interesting thing. I'm not saying that is wrong, but it's interesting because around the world we have different um, uh, different definitions of continents. Like here, we say it's six continents. Eurasia is one because it should be. How the frick is that two continents? Like, I get Africa, that's just a small part, and also North and South America, but Eurasia, yeah, that's one continent. But seven parts of the world. So that's just interesting. I've heard other parts of the world say that North and South America is one continent. I think we used to say it here, but now it's switched to the different continents, and they have very small connection. So yeah, that makes sense. But Eurasia, Europe and Asia. Be honest, that isn't two continents. That's one continent.
America, right? So today we'll be checking out explaining Europe to Americans. Europe is a vast continent, has a whole lot of different countries within it, and objectively speaking, as a continent, the entire culture of Europe is vastly.
Well, cultures Europe had thousands of years, USA and America. Well, I'm not discounting Native Americans. They had thousands of years, and they had the different cultures. But the America we see today has only 200, 300 years, and are mostly settled for 150 years ago, like the most western part. So we have had more time to develop. Yes, have developed its own culture, but they've also uh, when they came into existence, the world was already a bit smaller, and especially now cars and airplanes exist. The world is smaller, but yeah, it's more cultures, not culture.
Different than America and vice versa. America, we be wilding out, we go crazy. It's nuts. It's, something that I would like to.
Who says that the Europeans can't go crazy? Well, we don't have Trump, and he's very unpopular here.
Dive into, because there are going to be a lot of things that I still don't know about. But after traveling to Europe for a little bit, there are tons of things I appreciate about Europe. It's a lot more organized, people are a lot more straightforward in a lot of aspects and whatnot. There are different issues that don't really.
Yeah, American and European politics are completely different. Democratic Party would be pretty far right in most European political spectrum.
Exist as much in America though, however, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna bring that up today. But without further ado, before we get started, I need you guys to go ahead and like the video and subscribe Let me know what you guys think in the comments down
subscribe.
below. I'm gonna have a few opinions of my own as we watch this. And let's go ahead and check this thing out.
The metric system, the relaxed laws of underage drinking, and the starter of both world wars.
Underage drinking. Well, it is a bunch of underage drinking. But like, if it's not underage when, like they say it like under 21, but like it isn't underage. It's underage with Norway. It's 18, so it's underage with if it's under 18. But yeah, I think it's much more underage drinking here than Merca.
Wars.
Well, one of the biggest things I think we're going to be talking about in the video for show is the relaxed drinking laws. And hold on, she brought up a few things. Let's go back and see what she said.
Laws of underage drinking and the starter of both world wars.
Americans love to brag about the World War II thing, or world wars in general. The back-to-back World War champions is what a lot of America loves.
They wouldn't be able to win without UK. Like, how would they do the D-Day operation? But yeah, the Americans, like it wouldn't exactly be easy to win without the Americans. And like Land-Lease, we might have lost. But yeah, thank you, America. I'm glad that the international language, well, is it good? It's meh, yeah. But if the Germans had won, I would been speaking German to not that it would be first language. I think they were okay with like people having their own languages. Well, certain people, and Nordics was Iran, but yeah, like the international language would be German.
To say. You hear it a lot in the military too. You know, your boys in the military, you hear it a lot. You're going to hear that jokingly from a lot of Americans. You're also going to hear one of the best things that Americans love when we travel to Europe is the underage drinking laws. Because in America, them things is up there.
It's not underage drinking, it's just different laws.
You got to be an adult to
unless you break those
drink,
laws.
but in Europe it's very different.
Lately I've been seeing a lot of information about Europe, and it's been a bit misguided. So here I present to you a little crash course about this part of the world.
So that's exactly why we're checking this out. I have no idea how this works. I thought it was every European country had the, you can drink at this specific age or blah, blah, blah.
Bro,
I'm obviously wrong. Riddle me this thing.
Yeah,
I have a question for y'all. How in the world, as Americans, are we able to tote glizzies? No diddy. How are we able to own guns at 16 and we can't drink at 16? Make that make sense, Chief.
Yeah.
Make that make sense. That don't make no
Most
sense,
people,
does it? But a lot of things in America don't make no sense. So let's
thing
go ahead and check
about
this out.
Let's start off with
it's also about like people think that American gun laws, most people in Europe thinks American gun laws are freaking crazy. All the mass shootings and just such. But we benefit from it. We get cool YouTube content without having a danger of getting shot ourselves. Yay!
geography.
Okay.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, Europe does not look like this.
Oof.
It looks like
We'd
this.
kick
Europe
Russia's
has
ass.
over 40 countries, so it's much more than just France,
Wow.
Germany, and Italy. And saying
Well, in my mind,
Me
it's
too.
literally just France,
Probably
Germany,
not
and Italy,
correct,
but that's
yeah,
exactly
but-
why we're checking out this video.
you
Shit,
visited
military.
Europe is a very broad term because this part of Europe is very different from this part of Europe. The biggest
Terms of
country in
languages
Europe is
and
Russia.
culture.
And the smallest country in Europe is the Vatican City, which is basically a giant building with a giant park.
Real.
Oh.
Have been
Europe can be divided depending on how you look at it. It can be divided politically, geographically, or historically. For example, here, the east from the west, and here, the red from the green from the turquoise, or potato tomato.
Tomato Europe, potato Europe. Is that like above the equator and below the equator Europe? Is that what that is? Is that what that dotted
no,
line is? I don't
The equator is much, much more south.
understand. Explain.
So let's look at the general way of how Europe
I
can
think
be.
what it's like where here tomato is pretty big, and here potatoes are like one of the main foods.
Divided. Firstly on the list is, of course, Western Europe. These are the
Hey.
countries that
What do you mean? Norway and Denmark is Western Europe. Iceland is also Western Europe. These countries will maybe say they're Western Europe. Sweden, not kinda, but it's Sweden. It's
people want
the
to move
worst
in,
there.
live in, and be born in.
True that. And that part of them, it's Germany, France, Italy, the conglomerate that's right up on each other. That I think everything highlighted in purple and light purple. That right there,
Spain.
that's the holy grail right there. If you get this, woo, you are Gucci. The turquoise, people do not want to live there, bro. They don't want to live there.
They are
What
economically
do you
better
mean? I love Norway. It's good. What do you think? We're rich here. Lol. Okay. Anyway, yeah, people in these countries and this country will not probably isn't exactly stoked about living there, but they love their countries there. But yeah,
off, and they have a lot of work opportunities.
Okay, see.
These countries include Germany, France, Austria, Belgium, and
I forgot about Belgium, man. I was just in Belgium too.
if you don't
Speed
count
bump
the
of
British
Europe.
islands as their separate thing, then they also are in the west of Europe.
Cool.
Next up we have Northern Europe. A lot of these countries are doing
oh yeah, well yeah, but we're still west though.
great, or even they're better off in terms
Yeah, I
of
get
quality of
it
life.
now.
Except for
Like-
Sweden, it's having a rough
Okay.
patch with crimes.
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't
Yeah, it's a hellhole. Okay, if you don't know, Norway loves, and I think Denmark and their surrounding loves to make fun of Sweden, and Sweden loves to make fun of Norway.
even know
That's
Sweden
just
was
a
like that. That's where PewDiePie's
joke
from.
war.
And I'm like, Sweden? Crime? Sweden?
But yeah, it's pretty bad. Like here here in Norway it's like a word called svenska tillstånd or Swedish conditions, and that like
even say
mass
that in the
crimes
same
and stuff.
sentence? Yes, there's crime all over the world. I'm not oblivious to that. But the amount of crime in Sweden is diabolical. That's basically Lil Chicago. Because I keep hearing a lot of stuff going down in Sweden. What is going on with Sweden? Let me know.
Apparently,
Yeah.
but they're pretty
Mass
cold,
gangs and
and in the
stuff.
winter it gets really dark. So not a lot of people want to move there necessarily. Not only are they cold when it comes to weather, but also when it comes to their friendliness scale.
Oh.
They're usually considered a bit more unfriendly or reserved.
I heard
Yeah, we're sure, but like I wouldn't say we're unfriendly. It's just that like we like to keep us for ourselves. But uh, like for example, if you hear someone like yeah, like we doesn't do small talk to strangers usually, very rare. Like sometimes people overhear people make mistakes at like the bus. Oh, we should go over here, off here to go there, but then they know it's that's wrong, but they don't want to mind their own business and don't do it. That's like we should do tell someone and help them, but like unfriendly, nah, not really. It's just that we're more reserved. Like when you get to know someone, we are okay, but like don't freaking just don't go to a bus stop and then just talk to strangers. That's a bad idea. You're not gonna get hurt. They're just gonna maybe answer but feel a bit uncomfortable or just look at you.
the opposite. I
I
heard
would answer but and being
they were
a
one of the
bit
nicest places
uncomfortable.
in Europe. And that is exactly why we're checking this video out. Bro, I'm so serious. I heard that Sweden was one of the nicest places in Europe, unless the individual or individuals that told me this were trolling. And
It isn't okay. I'm not. To be honest, Sweden isn't that bad, but
unless PewDiePie himself was trolling.
Have
Some
a
of the
bit
nicest
of-
people
have
come
some
from Sweden, but
problems.
I'm hearing the opposite now.
These countries are also referred to as Nordic or Scandinavian countries. They have a lot of Viking heritage
Oh,
and
Finland is not
Yeah.
Scandinavian. Okay.
the Scandinavians is Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. Nordics are I think Faroe Islands count as Nordic, Iceland, and Finland, and the Scandinavian countries. You will see that the Nordic countries can go and find it. Yeah, all have like this thing is. By the way, many of these things are not like national flags. Åland, this is a autonomous part of Finland though. Like it isn't on this map, but it's some islands there.
They like to fish. They have a lot of fish and water around them. Moving on to
Iceland won undeclared sea war against UK.
Southern
Random
Europe.
facts.
Okay.
These are the countries that people like to visit on vacation. They're warm, maybe too warm for some people,
Especially here, it's Spain. In
and by
Norway.
some people I
I'm cooked, dude. I definitely thought Italy was like Western
Lots of greens.
Europe, like Western Europe and like the upper west half, but Italy's definitely Southern Europe.
mean me. They have great food and wine, they're pretty friendly,
Italy's
and some of them like to take naps in the
Italian
middle of
food,
the day,
delicious.
which sounds like a dream.
That's-
But
Yeah,
Italian
I
food.
heard that the breaks in the middle of the day make things really hard for foreigners in Italy specifically. They just work whenever they want to.
I think it isn't that much anymore. I've been to Italy. I didn't spend that much, but I've heard like 20 years ago, like the police would like take a siesta and stuff.
They got like, I mean, they make
Might be
time for
wrong.
family and blah 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 blah. But the breaks in the middle of the day, diabolical. But hey, it's a culture shock, something we got to get used to, you know.
their economy is not doing that great.
Oof. Okay.
And if you're wondering why is this section a darker
Southern Italy is pretty poor. Northern half is
orange?
relatively rich.
Well, I'll get to that in a bit.
Oh God.
And now we
That's not
have
good.
Eastern Europe. Well, the problem with Eastern Europe is that
Yeah, basically the definition is like countries that were occupied by the Soviet Union under the Cold War. Hey, why is Kaliningrad a part of Poland? Can you answer that?
Okay, nobody likes Eastern Europe. That's I mean, we can say
Yeah,
I'm allowed
like
to say that.
the-
Nobody
the
likes it, bro.
economy
Like
isn't that good
meaning like
after
the world.
communism.
The world is at odds with East Europe right now. Like the world is at odds with Eastern Europe.
nobody wants to be called Eastern Europe. This division is based on the time when the Fire Nation attacked, so a lot of these
Really?
countries were occupied. Since East of Europe is not the best area to be associated with, countries like to identify themselves with other names. For example, Romania, Croatia likes to be called
Just wait a second. No, it was nothing, I think.
the
Anyways.
Balkans.
Ah. Bro, you know,
Balkans, the powder cake of Europe, basically.
Ye-
That was what Bismarck called it.
y'all
before he
gonna hate
died.
me for this, but I thought the Balkans was in the West. Crazy thing is, I do have a large amount of
At that
followers
time, whole of Europe was
that are from the
powder cake,
Balkans,
but
and I definitely
not
thought the
around
Balkans
too
was in the
much.
western side of Europe. But today I learned the Balkans is right underneath Russia. That's interesting. I did not know that.
Excuse me, that's Russia. You're gonna get killed by by these countries by calling them Russia. Yeah, 3 hours left.
Did not know that at all. The Balkans is cool though. Balkans got popping countries out there. I'm not gonna lie for real.
Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania are the Baltics. But to be honest, they're quite high up geographically, so maybe they could be considered even Northern Europe. Poland, Czech
Yeah, I've heard memes about. I don't know if that's true, but that Estonia wants to be called Nordic and like, hey, can't we just let them in? Actually, the whole Baltic states can be Nordic,
Republic, and
but
Slovakia.
then they will destroy the flag thingy because they don't have those flag thingies, cross things.
Slovakia likes to be called the Central Europe.
Okay, Poland, I've
Yeah,
heard some
they like
sketchy
to be
things
called
about,
Central
bro.
Europe.
Is Poland a good place or not? Because I'm getting mixed signals, bro.
Yeah, Poland. It it isn't exactly wealthy, but it's climbing up. Its living conditions are getting better and better. Like I think it's soon overtaking Britain in living standards. But yeah, it's also fairly like conservative. Like you can beat your child and stuff. I've heard that from my mother told me that he has spoken to someone living in who have been in Poland, and like children came and hurt like is injured from being beaten, and then like after being treated they were just sent right home with the parents that beat them that beat them so they were do that uh, beat them so they were
Some people say
hurt.
they fuck with Poland, and other people say they don't fuck with Poland. Do we fuck with Poland or nah, bro? I need a straight answer. There's just some strange
I do.
things going on over there. They had a weird border policy thing. They said if you're not from here, don't come here type shit. But
Real.
like
Yeah, that's pretty hypocritical. Poland has, tons of immigrants. Like, I think they're the second largest group of immigrants in Norway behind Pakistanis. So, yeah, very hypocritical. And that's just in Norway. I think it's like 20 million Polish, well, descendants, many of them, I think, in immigrant descendants in the United States. Yeah, it's it's just hypocritical. They have yeah, yeah, it's so many immigrants from Poland.
on some we will blick you down if you don't have the proper papers and stuff. So I'm not sure if Poland is a decent place to go or not. It sounds like it's very hot and cold, and I'm not about the wishy-washy. So y'all let me know in the comments down below what's going on with Poland, man.
And now we're left with countries that are not doing that great for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
And I would say maybe they would rather be called Slavic countries rather than Eastern Europe. You can be both, but one of them sounds a bit more cool than the other one.
Very true. One of them gets you business and the other one gets you left.
So if you agree with the concept of Central Europe, then scratch whatever I said before about Europe looking like this.
Okay.
Now Europe looks like this. And I have
Okay.
to say I have nothing against being called Central Europe or the existence of Central Europe. I think it's just funny how nobody wants to be called Eastern European.
Yeah, they're like, ooh.
Yeah, because like it's pretty. I saw a video about this. Like this is completely different cultures and all this stuff, and be called Eastern Europe just because the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, aka the Soviet Union, occupy them. No, it's like yeah, it's they don't like that. I completely see like the only reason is because they were occupied by the USSR. So like it's pretty. Oh, oh fuck! I can't speak now. Um, synthetic, I guess. Like it isn't really. It's yeah. It's just because they were communist. I should
Eastern
probably not
Europe.
speak
How
that
about we don't
much.
say that? We say Slavic instead. We say Balkans instead. How about we say something else? Okay?
So then lastly, we have Central Europe. Basically all the German-speaking countries and more. These countries are located in the core economic region of
yeah.
Europe. They have stable governments and relatively high quality of life.
Okay.
And these
Hey,
countries
why didn't
also
you say that about the Nordics?
love beer. And they like to fight on who drinks the most beer.
Listen, bro. That's not a question, bro. Germany drinks the most beer. Fight me. Germany drinks the most beer. Germany invented beer,
That's
bro.
just because.
Germany invented beer. They drink the most beer. You can't outdrink a German.
Mm,
Name one country that can outdrink Germany right now in the
Poland.
comments down below. Name one country that can outdrink Germany, because it's not
Poland.
happening.
This is an interesting correlation I found. Not that it's related
But
to
Czech
geography,
Republic
but
is
it's an
even
interesting
higher.
fact.
Oh yeah, there.
With all that
That's a
said, the number
stereotype.
one thing you should
Even
remember is that
Austria.
Europe is not a country. It
According
is
to
a
that one.
continent that has a lot of countries.
See, I used to think that Europe was a country, even though I subconsciously knew that Europe was a continent.
What the heck? Well, when I was a kid, I thought Sweden was a country. In Norway, like Sweden means like south. Like I'm taking a trip to Sweden. Like all kids thinks that's a country until they learn like it's different countries like Greece and Spain and Portugal. Why can't we just say the name of the countries instead of Sweden so kids doesn't get confused?
As well, but eventually
Yeah, my kids. Today we're going to Sweden. Ah,
I'm like, oh,
that's a country, right?
Europe is a continent, and it just has hella countries in it.
Yeah,
and
and
if
cultures.
you know where the capital of
Countries and
Paris,
cultures.
Berlin, and London is, you're doing a good job, and you should pat yourself on the shoulder. And I definitely don't expect you to know where Malta is.
Malta.
Oh yeah.
Malta is, I think that's in Finland. I think Malta's in Finland. Yeah, it's in Finland, isn't it? Yeah, Malta is in Finland. What am I saying? It's in Finland.
Which is right here.
Oh.
And it's very small. I don't even expect people from France to know the capital of Latvia. So if you know a little bit about this
Riga.
place, it's
named
already
Riga.
pretty good. I think one of the most important things is just not to make assumptions. For example, calling Lithuania basically Russia is very disrespectful.
Yeah, they're gonna kill you if you say that.
Or Ireland is the same as UK.
Oh,
Not
you're
a good
also
thing to
gonna
do.
die.
Yeah, you'll start that's the fastest way to start a bar fight, bro. Or Scotland. You get Scotland and Ireland mixed up, bruh. Well, you might not ever see you again.
Maybe open a map before opening your mouth. Just a friendly suggestion.
I don't do that, but I'll work on that. I will work on that. I am notorious for not doing that.
Also, maybe it's helpful to know the difference between Europe and European Union, which
Yeah.
I'll cover that in a bit. And now
See, that's why we're checking this video out, because I thought they were the same thing.
we can move on to history. Well, Europeans have a lot of beef with each other. UK and Ireland, Romania and Hungary, Portugal and Spain, and Russia.
I have to let in my cat. He decided to not walk into my room when I opened the door. Cats. Always a bit weird.
With basically
Oh my. Sorry. You wanted food.
everybody in the world. And it's all because of history. Europe has a lot of it. There were a lot of agreements, disagreements, and wars over land in the past and also now. Some stuff is serious and some stuff ended up countries just making fun of each other. For example, Austria making fun of Germany, France and the Netherlands making fun of Belgium.
Dang. And that says a lot when France is making fun of anybody, because they have the white flag every time. We give up.
That's just a stereotype they have when tons of force just like if the UK was in that position, I think they would also have surrendered like they had the English Channel. France did not have that, so yeah, that's very unfair to France. But like, still funny meme though. But yeah.
I give up. I give up. Yeah, every time. They're very passive, dude. The French are
hell no,
probably
that's
some of the
not
most passive
true.
people on the planet. Belgium, I don't really hardly hear anything about, man. Besides their waffles and their
Not the
fries.
speed,
I mean, oh my.
not the speed bump of Europe. You haven't heard that. Norway actually have our own waffles too. If you didn't know. Yeah, they look like this. Belgian waffles. Look like more like this, more like I think they're crunchy. I think the Norwegian one is not. It's not. And honestly, I prefer the Belgian one. Yeah, I'm a trader. Yeah, boo boo. Yeah, trader. Yeah, okay.
God, their fries.
Or the whole Scandinavian area making fun of the Danes because of their weird sounding language. Because of
Yeah, but like it makes much more fun of Sweden.
history, we have cities like this that
What the fuck is that? What
Yeah.
is that? Ew!
weirdly divided between Netherlands and Belgium.
See, that's what happens when y'all don't get along, bro.
Enclaves inside
What
enclaves.
is that?
They
Oh.
even have houses that are divided into two, so
Oh no.
pretty strange. And
Fucking weird is what it is. That's what? What?
we also have a city like this in the Baltics between Estonia and Latvia. Then when you compare Europe to the US, you can see that America is actually bigger in size than Europe.
1,000%. You could fit like 5 Europe.
My cat again. It doesn't.
In America.
Much bigger. Europe is 2/3 of America. But the main difference between these two is that one of them is much more densely populated than the other. The US has 300 million people living in there, and Europe has 700 million.
Okay. Wow. That is something I did not. 700 million. That's basically a billion people, which basically means America is cooked. That's crazy. I did not know that. This is why we're checking out this video.
And yet they're smaller in size. Each country here has their own rules, their own languages.
Wait a
They're
sec. I didn't hear that.
2/3 of America. But the main difference between these two is that one of them is much more densely populated than the other. The US has 300 million people living in there, and Europe has 700 million.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Oh my
Wow,
goodness.
that is some-
Oh my goodness.
Something I did not. 700 million. That's basically a billion people, which basically means America is cooked. That's crazy. I did not know that.
Cooked. Bro. Most of Europe is friends with the United States of America. Also, United States of America have more soldiers, I think, combined than we others because the other countries are fucking pacifist. Yeah, I'm criticizing all the European countries about their defense spending, including Norway. You're not morally better because you don't spend money on your military. And like, as long as you don't fucking invade do unjustified invasions, then you're good. Like, you're just outsourcing it to the United States of America and like leave us weak.
This is why we're checking out this video.
And yet they're smaller in size. Each country here has their own rules, their own languages, their own culture, and so a more accurate comparison would be something like this.
Good Googly moogly. That's a lot of United States, bruh.
Every country is their own little America.
Wow.
And what I mean by that, we can take a look at Germany, for example.
Oh, for
the
sure.
country is divided into 16 states. And this Germany and this Germany is very different.
Oh, 100%. Try to say moin in southern Germany. See what happens. People gonna look at you weird. Try to say servus in northern Germany. Again, people gonna look at you strange. They'll be like, what did you say? It's moin over here, bro.
They also sound very different. When they talk to each other, they might not even understand each other. Plus, we also have Austria right here that also speaks German, but their German is very different from the standard German. But they are right next to each other. So how did this happen?
A little bit German.
History and culture and a lot of the stuff in between. Then we can also look at UK, which is fully separated from Europe by water. Here the country is divided into 4 regions, which is Scotland, Wales, England and Northern Ireland. But if you look deeper under the surface, it's also divided into smaller regions.
Okay.
And if you try harder, you can also divide it into just towns, cities and villages. The UK is an interesting example of how the language and the culture developed a little bit differently, even though they're right next to each other and the country is quite small.
Wow.
Here, people can recognize your status or class based on where you grew up in.
Ooh, based on your accent. That's actually crazy. I thought about that too. Like, you're from South London, innit? You're from...
Yeah, I think many of those accents have are older, before cars and such, before people was more mobile, so harder to talk and mingle with people living 5 towns over. So yeah, people spoke more with the people that live close to them, and then they would develop their own dialects and stuff. That's also why it's so many languages in Europe.
From South London, innit? That's crazy.
Which is a thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now let's talk
Not
about the
before
economical state of Europe.
Okay.
Firstly, let's cover what is the EU.
Okay. Prior to her
wait a second.
addressing what this is, I was under the impression that every single country in Europe was a part of the EU until I realized that every single country in Europe had some type of beef with every other country. Taking a small break to address the elephant in the room here. I have a euro. 2 Euro. I have a bunch of these just collected for my trips to Germany, man. I have enough of these to go to the bathroom probably 100 times. That's crazy. One big thing that I'll never understand, I guess I do understand, I was going to say that I'll never understand, is why you have to pay for the bathroom in Europe.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Not all bathrooms, at least here, but hey, that should be free. That's inhumane.
How clean the
We also have to pay for food though, so well, go to the bathroom is more urgent.
bathrooms are in Europe in comparison to the United States.
I don't get to use the bathroom because it's cost money. Okay, I'm gonna pee on the floor of this mall. Hey, what the frick are you arresting me? Yeah, I have to go, and it costs money, so I'm not gonna pay that. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. Oh my, what are you gonna do without money? You're gonna get arrested if you just.
Specifically in Germany. I'm not sure if you have to pay to go to the bathroom in any other country besides Germany. Let me know in the comments down below, but I thought that was a huge culture shock.
Or European Union, as they say. It is an international...
It isn't always, at least here. But yeah, some malls and stuff.
organization comprising of 27 countries that govern common social,
27 countries is crazy work.
economic, and security policies. EU is in Europe, but the whole Europe is not in the EU. Just like a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square. What I
Nice analogy.
mean is that not all European countries are a part of this. Some do want to join and some want to leave for a variety of reasons.
Okay.
From my understanding, this is the EU flag, not the Europe flag.
Yeah, like EU have some rules that like it has benefits and then it has some stupid rules. That like, you can't sell this outside of the EU. And now you can't export butter anymore or something. It's probably not that. I think it's you can't export cheese or something. Yeah, it's some stupid rules like no, it isn't a part of EU. You can see, but we have like half membership kinda. So like when we are part of this Schengen area, we have to. I think we also give Poland their monies, but and have to follow some of the stupid rules, like a family that like runs a farm and yeah, I spoke to them and they are not exactly very pro EU or the half membership thingy. They want out of that because you know they have some stupid rules about farming and stuff. And no, I'm not just talking about animal welfare. I support animal welfare. Well, welfare. That's like animal rights, animal welfare, giving welfare check to animals. But yeah, um, and also there's like a new rule that like Norway have had a similar thing, but we forgot to like ask for exception because our system is slightly better. Well, not even slightly. It's like empty bottles. Like you can send them in and get some money in return. And like their plan is to like clean them and fill them up again. Norway, we crush them and then make new bottles. It used to be like we clean them and fill up, but like people used to like have vodka and shit on them, so sometimes you bought the soda and let's just say it didn't taste like Coca-Cola.
But we
You know what? I got the Bosnian flag and the EU flag mixed up. But hear me
What?
out. They
How
look
the
the damn
frick?
same, except for the fact that the Bosnian flag look a little different. They look very close. It's very easy to be like, oh, that's the modified EU flag, obviously, but it's not. Made a big oopsie, but we'll let that one slide, right, guys?
do use it as a Europe flag to represent the unity of Europe, which is a little bit confusing, but there's not much I can do. The nice part about the EU is that a lot of European countries share the same currency, which is the euro currency. Not
sure.
all of them use euros, but many do. These countries like to
What's life like not using the euro in Europe? Like, what is life like? How do y'all conduct business in other?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but like here in Norway, it's perfectly fine using the norske krone. What the fuck did I say it? The Norwegian kroner. The is actually like multiples of Norwegian crown, I guess.
Other countries. I mean, I know y'all have to go to currency exchanges and stuff, but like, I guess what I'm asking is if you're not in the EU and you're in Europe and like you're surrounded, like look at this poor country right here. Whatever this little white country is right here in the middle of all this debauchery. How do you live? How do you
That's
function properly?
Switzerland.
Like you go to the next country over with your little independent currency. I mean, you might as well just join the EU, bro. Like you might as well join the EU. I don't
Yeah,
know what
but
this little
I want to be like very neutral, and it's kind of not neutral, but it isn't really. Yeah, they want to be very neutral.
country is right here, that's in the white. But bro, you might as
Like,
well go ahead and join the EU, bro, because you're cooked right here,
how
bro.
often do
How do you
you
do
just
business?
leave
I
your
know, yes,
country though?
currency
Not
exchange. The
really that
exchange
often.
rate must look diabolical for the countries that are not a part of the EU. I would venture to say that their currency is weaker than the euro. Now I know that England, for instance, left the EU because they thought that their currency could possibly be stronger and that the rest of the EU is weighing them down or whatever.
That is
I
a
think that is
mistake.
100% on Boris Johnson. Anyways, they left the EU. Everybody was thriving and diving, and now, like, I don't know, man. It looked like the pound is taking a plunge, bro. But I don't know. Maybe that's
Yeah,
just
great
me not
mistake.
being well informed. We gonna see though, cause she's been cooking this whole video. So let's see what's going on.
To stick to their currencies. So if you try and buy some groceries with your American dollars, you will most likely be rejected. Unless you're in an airport or some kind of tourist hotspot, then it will not go that well. I mean, would you sell me a sandwich if I say I have 200,000 Animal Crossing bells?
Ugh, hell no.
Probably not. And if you said yes, I'm not sure about your business practices.
Whoa. They're questionable, but they work.
20 EU countries use euros, but in total it's 27 because some countries decided to make it their currency unofficially. But not all EU countries switched to euro, and some of them still stayed with their old currency. So if you're traveling to those countries, check ahead what kind of money do they use.
Yeah.
And ignore UK because I forgot they decided
Brexit, bro. Brexit, yup.
to leave or they already left. So they're just doing their own thing.
Yeah.
But many countries over the years did switch to using euros, which is very convenient when you travel. But as a Latvian, I remember having lats and being very sad that we're gonna switch to euros now.
Aw, the Latvian coin looks pretty cool.
The only reason I didn't want it to happen because I really liked this coin and, you know, nostalgia reasons and cultural reasons. But now I don't have to exchange my currency or try and always calculate in my mind how much is this in lats or how much is this in euros. So, overall, a good thing, I think. You can let me know if you have an opinion about this. Now, the last thing on our list is culture. America is not Europe.
It is not Europe and vice versa. Yeah, it makes
Hi,
sense.
Justin.
Especially when it comes to culture. It's very different.
And Europe is not America. We run things differently around here. Like, for example, it's very rare to find a building that has central AC.
Oh, that's not good. And that is very true. In the summertime, bro, it get hot. It get hot. They do not believe in AC in Europe, bro. And
Yeah,
some people
I think it's because like it runs on power and that's expensive here. But I don't know about the prices in America. But yeah, it's expensive to like have it going on cooling. But because of climate change, it's becoming warmer and warmer, and I think it's changing now.
don't believe in deodorant either. Okay. Mix those two together and you can go ahead and doctor up what kind of concoctions they got going on out there. Now, I'm not talking about Germany when I made the deodorant comment. I mean other European countries that will not be named, but you know what I'm talking about. Put on some damn deodorant.
Most of us
I don't
just
know
have a big heat
which one
wave in the
it's
middle of the
talking
summer
about.
and we
Ah,
suffer for 2
probably
weeks
Sweden.
and then it's all good. But the normal AC is a bit more common in Southern Europe, but not everywhere. In some ways, we're not that different from you. And maybe we're not even better than you, but we certainly think we are. I mean, we also have McDonald's, and we do like our convenient cars, but we're not that obsessed with it.
Yeah, like most European cities are not like car friendly. Like at least here in Norway, and I think many other European countries have like many walking streets and stuff. It used to be more car centric, but sadly we changed it away. And yes, it's sadly I'm pretty pro car.
Oh, yeah, we're very obsessed. We got to drive everywhere. I swear to God, like if we're in a parking lot in America, instead of walking to the next store in the same parking lot, we walk from the store to the car and drive 30 feet in the direction of the other store that is within the same parking lot. Then we get out and we walk a couple of feet into the next store instead of just walking the 30 feet
Okay,
it would have
I
taken
to help
to get to the
my
first.
cat getting down. Sorry for
to the second store in the first
go for
place.
a little bit.
You know what I mean? It's lazy.
And our cities don't look like the medieval times. I mean, some do, but
What do you mean they don't look like the medieval times? That's literally what Europe looked like.
we certainly stopped throwing trash out of the windows and burning witches.
Oh, yeah,
Real.
well, yeah. But I just mean the architecture. It do look like the medieval times over there with a large sprinkle of modernism in it, but that's what makes it look cool. I like the old architecture. I mean, most buildings and structures in Europe make America look like it was made yesterday.
As mentioned before, Europe has a lot of countries, so there's a lot of different cultures, foods, traditions, and preferences. And so I gathered some cultural things to generally know about Europe. The first thing on my list is that you're probably not Italian. If the only thing that makes you Italian is that you took an ancestry test that told you that your blood is 57%
Really?
Italian, you're probably not Italian.
I wish more people watch this, but for this video. I wish more people watch this video because that applies to everything else. It has a lot to do with the culture. You know what I'm saying? And if you're 57% Italian, but you're acting 100% American, what does that make you? Cooked. It makes you cooked.
It doesn't count if you have Italian ancestors from the 1800s that settled to America. If you didn't grow up in Italy, you don't have any Italian relatives like grandparents, parents, or aunts and uncles, and you don't know how to speak Italian. I'm sorry to say this, but you're not Italian.
That right there probably you just lost some people. You just lost some viewers right there. But that needed to be said because that's actually facts. That is factual. That is a factual statement. All right? Now, we're going to sit here and let some people simmer in that real quick because I'm sick and tired of people going on Ancestry.com. I have 0.235% Italian in my blood.
Mamma mia!
I must go see my roots. Not a singular ancestor out there, bro. Crazy.
Being able to pronounce mozzarella correctly or having a family
But we have been pronouncing it correctly. Mozzarella. Mozzarella.
recipe of spaghetti and meatballs doesn't give you an Italian passport. Plus, spaghetti and meatballs is an Italian-American dish. They don't really eat that in Italy.
Also, bro, I saw what actual Italian pizza looked like, bro. I'm disappointed, bro.
What? Italian pizza is good. Like American and Italian pizzas are like different, but like you know, different but equal, will I say?
America, this is a based opinion, but America easily makes better pizza than Italy, bro. Easily makes better pizza than Italy. Hold on. I want all the smoke. We easily make better pizza than Italy. I saw that abomination out there, bro. It's a piece of bread with a couple slabs, not even slabs, a couple of droplets of tomato.
Wow, disgusting. Oh no, I would hate to eat that. Oh no. Anyways,
Juice on there because you can't call that stuff sauce. And then 1 or 2 sprinkles of cheese and a flake of spinach for a vegetable on it. Okay? What is that? That's
delicious.
an abomination. How, what? They might as well call it something else because we're speaking 2 different, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
pizza
you guys have to change it if you don't like that. Like
is an American thing.
pizza
All right.
is good. It is good. Like it's different, but it's good. Italian pizza, it's good, but different from American.
And then
I wouldn't say
Italian,
one is better
whatever
than
that
the
is,
other,
let's just
but
call it
they're
an
different, so-
Italian discus or something because that ain't no
Like
damn
sometimes you will want an American pizza, and sometimes you really want a Italian pizza. But yeah.
pizza, bro. I looked at it and I'm like, oh, what is this? I'm sure the bread tastes phenomenal. I'm just saying portion
What
wise
is the...
and
Anyways.
recipe distribution wise. I mean, I guess resource distribution wise on the actual piece of bread or the alleged pizza. That ain't no damn pizza, bruh. I don't know what that is, but it ain't no damn pizza. What is that? Man, I almost wanted to cry a little bit. And then throw some extra ingredients on there. But I know they don't play that, so it's just like, can we just call it something different out there, bruh? Because that ain't that's
You can change the name of pizza. You don't expect the the inventors of pizza to change the name of their dish because you guys made a cup as a slightly different, but a different copy of it that, in your opinion, is better. Freaking change the name. It's you guys that have to change the name.
not pizza. Even though they're like, oh, it came from Italy. Then why does it taste better in America? Now, granted, I've never been to Italy, but I've had Italian-style pizza, so that counts, right?
Don't get me wrong, it's a nice fact and it's fun to know where your ancestors came from, but it doesn't
I've
mean
been
that
to Italy and the pizza isn't bad. Like, sure, I don't say that getting Italian style pizza is really Italian pizza in the United States is impossible, but like, is that how many times have you eaten that on different restaurants? Just asking.
you have the right to claim to be this nationality. Then a lot of people here are bilingual, but that does not mean that they know English.
Ooh.
Oftentimes in most schools you learn 3 languages. Your language, the neighboring country's language.
That makes so much.
Interesting. In Norway, we learn Norwegian. But we already know that from before, but like learn new words sometimes and like learn to read and stuff. And then we also learn English. And then we can come to middle school. We can choose some other language we will learn. I think it's Spanish and French and in my school and German. I think I have viewers from my school, so they can comment. Din jävla uh, uh, retard. It's yada yada yada.
Much sense, bro. I'm like, why the hell do so many people in Europe know like 3 or 4 languages? Well, you look at the map, and every European country is next to another European country, and they speak 2 totally different languages. So to communicate, there's probably a bridging language, which I would think would be English, right? But
Yeah.
I guess it could be like German or Latvian or what.
Usually it is. Usually it's.
Whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then obviously some
Usually it's,
European countries are very like,
English.
hey, we're speaking this language and this language only. So of course the other neighboring countries need to navigate around that by learning that country's language and their school system so they can navigate through said country that's been stubborn gracefully. That makes sense.
And most likely English or whatever else you want to learn. But that does not mean everybody speaks English or want to speak English.
True.
So it's always nice to learn a little
Yeah, in
bit before you
Finland
come
they
here.
actually
Even
learn Swedish, but often people doesn't really want to speak it. They prefer when meeting Swedish people, they prefer using English usually. And also, I think in Iceland they used to teach Scandinavian Frankenstein version, but have gone over to English.
just knowing how to say please and thank you is already something. Then thirdly, in Eastern Europe and in Northern Europe, people don't really like small talking with strangers.
And they don't like to fucking smile, bro. I smile, I laugh, and I'm loud. People don't like that, bro. I mean, I haven't had any problems with it. I mean, I think I had one issue with it one time, but I didn't care. but I was also very aware to be respectful, so I wasn't obnoxious. You know what I mean? I made sure before I even landed in Europe to keep it cool, calm, collected, because naturally I am very loud. I'm very animated, but I had to keep it down when I was in Europe, just so I could like not blend in per se, but at least be respectful. I didn't want to cause a commotion out there. So for anybody else watching this video, at least this reaction, don't be a fool out there in Europe. They don't play that. And if you don't know them, don't have any small talk. Now, if you're asking for directions, you can, but you'll still get that very like blank look. They'll be like, it's over there.
Plus, walking and smiling alone is considered weird. They probably will think you're crazy. People here are reserved and cold because it probably is cold most of the time, and they don't like to waste their energy on things that don't really matter. So if you see them smiling, it's most likely sincere. Then next we have Sundays. Some countries consider Sunday as a holy day, so a lot of shops and grocery stores are closed.
Here in Norway, it's like all stores except for very small stores have to be closed. But I think it's kind of like to give the small stores advantage or something. Maybe not like the big one with many employees can't be open. So like so more people gets the day off, and even though store is small, I think it's like you have to pay the employees more, so like it doesn't necessarily mean that they're open. But some bigger stores have like a small version of itself, like right besides it. So like on Sundays when the big one is closed, that small one opens.
Or they might not be open at their usual schedule. Germany and Poland are quite serious about it, so you'll just have to deal with it. Food is also a big part of our culture, so here is a
Oh, look at that.
section about food and restaurants. Well, first of all, let's talk about
Croissants are from Austria.
additives. The EU is cautious of what we put in our food. As you can see, the fries from McDonald's, here is a list of ingredients in the UK, which I think by that time was part of the EU. And here is a list of ingredients that they use in the US.
Oh yeah. All the little things that'll get you sent to the afterlife. We love to see it.
Way more things that I don't know what they are. Don't get me wrong, we have many ingredients that start with the letter E and end with a number, but we are very selective of which ones we want to bring into our club. What I've learned from food theory is that EU takes the approach of guilty until proven innocent. Meaning if the additives are proven to not be harmful, then they're accepted into our food chain. Each country has their own specialties and traditional foods, so there's lots to experience and to try. So we'll probably find it a little bit weird if you stick to McDonald's and Starbucks and Dunkin' that you can find back at home a 10-minute drive away from your house.
True. Yeah, bro. Like, if you travel to Europe, bro, stop visiting places that already exist in your native country. If you got a McDonald's back home, why are you trying McDonald's in Europe, bro? Like,
well, it's often has different menus, so I get that, but like, and also sometimes you just want McDonald's, and like, not everyone likes the food there from the country they are at.
Like, it's cool if that's like something you're trying in addition to a bunch of new things. But if that's like one of the only things you eat or is like a staple for a while you're traveling, bro, never travel ever again in your life because you just wasted a golden opportunity.
But I do have to say, if you're going to these places to find something new, something that is not sold in your country, then I think it's fine. I've done it. For some reason, people are judging me for this, but I want to know what a macaron tastes like at a French McDonald's.
True. I'm about to find out what German food tastes like in South Korea. Right? That sounds interesting, right? Doesn't that sound interesting? What does German food taste like in South Korea? Them two things don't even go together for real. Like, it's crazy.
I'm curious. Is it good? Is it bad? Should I buy it again?
That's what I'm saying. I got the same questions, and we finna find out.
Speaking of restaurants, prepare yourself that the service will be just okay. They will not go above and beyond.
Oh yeah, the service in Europe is ass. It's not that good. It's actually not even not good. It's just not good.
It isn't that bad. I
I should have said it's not even not that good. It's just genuinely mid. It's mid. So you're not gonna get the overzealous, like, hey, how are you? Is there anything I could do to get you? There's none of that. The customer service is virtually non-existent. Now in Asia, man, that is like creme de la creme. You want to be treated like a prince, princess, king, queen. Asia is where it's at, bro. They will treat you like royalty. They will make you appreciate the fact that you were born on this earth. Europe will make you question why you were born on this earth.
Hey, it isn't that bad.
To please your every need. They might not be fast and they might not be friendly. They are humans that have emotions and down days and are not full of energy all the time. And they will leave you alone to eat your food and might not check up on you at all.
Which is fine. I don't really need people to check up on me when I'm eating. That was something that was very refreshing in Europe, bro. Like, I would eat and I would be left alone, and I'm like, bro, I could sit and chill here and no one's hounding me. Like, that was a very unique feeling that I'm gonna have to not get used to when I go back to the States, man.
I've been to plenty of cafes and restaurants where they did have very friendly and good service, but not all of them will be like this. And so just be mentally prepared that they will not take your dish back and give you a refund if you just don't like it.
Oh, also, I've always felt weird about that, bro. Like, yes, if they mess up your food or whatever, I still don't expect people to give you a refund or give you your dish back or whatever.
Like it.
I just think it's
I had to have my
just, hey,
monies
well,
back.
it is what it is. Just don't come back to that establishment later on. Enjoy what you got. But if there's a hair in your food or something, you can just pay for the food and leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really think it's that big of a deal, but I know everybody had different values and different things, so meh.
You'll just have to pick something better next time. Then also we have tipping.
That thing about the hair, that remembers me of... Okay, this is pretty random, but like when I was like on a kind of when I was a trip with my family when I was younger. Then we stopped and ate at like a small restaurant, I guess, like spaghetti and pesto, like the green thing. And then we found a piece of plastic in my dish. Um, when we were finished, like we took it out and hey, we found this in our son's dish. Oh, okay, sorry. For that, as an apology, you get free ice cream. So yeah, free ice cream because yeah, like I think it was a small piece of the box, like a small plastic container that the pasta was were like in before it was put on my dish. So yeah, it varies, but like yeah, people I think people isn't gonna complain that much. It isn't really that much of a Karen culture, I think here. Might be wrong, but yeah.
In most countries, waiters receive a fair minimum wage. But it's still minimum wage, so it's quite low. So we do like tipping, but just 5 to 10%.
Like, is there a
Yeah, it's okay. It's like you can tip here, but it isn't like mandatory because here it's not your fault that the employer pays them nothing.
problem tipping more than that? Sometimes I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to show out a little bit. Sometimes I like to tip $500, bruh. And I'm not even lying, bro. I went to a sushi restaurant and the sushi was so good, I gave the server $500 because it was amazing. And best believe the next time I came to that sushi spot, people was fighting over me, bro. Now, it wasn't like I wasted $500. I was just like, this food is immaculate. And I know for a fact this restaurant, A, did not get very many customers. And B, I know they didn't get paid a whole lot. So I'm like, listen. I want you to know that I not only appreciate you, I appreciate you. Okay. So can I do that in Europe? Would that be frowned upon? Like,
I
A
think
more
in
modest
Japan or South Korea, like they will see it as offensive, but here it's like, okay, you can give them a tip, but like, it's not necessary here.
tip. Or you just round off the bill that the number looks nice. But
so would it be frowned upon if I tipped $500? What would be the reaction if I tipped $500? Yes, I think part of the reaction is this guy's dumb. But I could just be like, I like your service, so here's $500.
I think it's
the
more,
tipping etiquette
wow,
can be
thank
different for
you.
each country. For example, in Germany, you tip when you pay. But in France, you leave a tip on the table when you leave and already paid.
That's the same thing. Kind of. I guess Germany, you tip as you pay. But then France, you tip after you leave? Or like you tip on the way out. But that's
Yeah,
basically the
I
same
guess.
time frame of payment because you're pretty much almost on the way out when you're paying in Germany. So like that's kind of the same thing.
What I hear a lot of people from America living
It's
or
just
visiting Europe say that we
traditions,
don't
I
have
think.
good Mexican food.
It's, well, Mexico's nowhere to
I
be
love
found
tacos.
next to Europe. Okay.
And it's true, because Mexico is right here.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Bro, why would it taste good in fucking Europe?
Hey,
Mexico.
it tastes, well, at least from my experience, tacos here taste good. Not exactly Mexican, but like it's good here. It's not like exactly in Mexico. Have been changed a little bit for a different audience, but
Goes across.
the only experience I have is like Norway loves tacos and my mom's tacos. Oh, by the way, it's Friday today, so I have it's taco for dinner because I'm Norwegian and we love tacos.
The planet. Duh. Okay, like if there's not a proper doner kebab in America, it's because doner is in Europe and Europe ain't where America is.
Right next to United States. And Mexico is pretty far away from Europe.
Yeah.
So not a lot of people that know how to cook good Mexican food come to Europe to open Mexican restaurants.
Right? Crazy work.
And that makes sense because we have a whole ocean between us.
Hey, bro, she's cooking, y'all, man. That's crazy. She's cooking, y'all. Let's
Don't
go.
get me wrong, I would love to go to a Mexican restaurant, but I don't even know how good Mexican food tastes like because I've never been to Mexico.
That should be a trip, though, for real, because the Mexican food, like, it'll have you doing things, okay? It'll have you doing things. Listen, I swear, there's a reason why Americans are obese. And it was
Tacos, I haven't tasted taco bells, but from what, because it's not in Norway, I think not in Europe either, but like, I think it's kind of like the tacos here is like pretty much like how it is on Taco Bells.
once you have Mexican food, you'll understand why. You'll understand why. You'll understand why.
Because
If you want to understand why we lack self-control, have some Mexican food. You'll understand why.
again, it's pretty far away. So maybe you should implement geography classes into your school education.
Oh, she's cooking. That's crazy, bro. She's cooking. That's crazy.
Just saying. When visiting
How
restaurants
is this and this different continents? How?
cafes, and other public places, it is important for us to be spatially aware and not be too loud. Americans have a reputation here in Europe that they're loud
As fuck. I'm loud as fuck. I want to put an as fuck on that shit because I'm loud as fuck. And because I know I'm loud as fuck and everybody tells me that, I try to consciously be quieter when I'm in public locations in Europe. Now, Asia, I think I'm loud too, but sometimes I don't be caring and I'll be laughing loud and stuff. But I also try to be mindful of my noise levels when I'm out and about.
I've been to Japan and don't be loud.
Now, if I'm in a
not
restaurant, it might be slightly different
eat
because if I
when you're
hear
walking.
everybody's talking over each other and stuff, then I'm like, cool. Now I can actually be my normal self. But if I'm in public, I'm going to continue being quiet. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
And annoying. Maybe they're not necessarily American, they might be Canadian, but just be aware of the situation if it
Canada is in northern America. I know that's from the United people when they say that United States of America. Isn't it weird that like people from the United States of America have like a monopoly of being quote unquote Americans? Like that's kind of unfair. Like yeah,
it's quiet or not and how loud you're speaking.
like you can't
Especially in countries like
monopolize
Germany,
being
they take
from
it
a
really seriously
like one country have a monopoly of like being from the whole continent.
and they will point it
You're
out
not
that you're being too
north and
loud.
South Americans.
Bro,
You
every
can't
time I laughed in Germany, the whole street got quiet and they looked at me, bro. And I was like, ha 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 ha. Even louder. Because I thought it was funny, bro.
Now, all that being said, Europe is not a perfect place.
Of course not. That's why people from Europe want to come to America. I'm just kidding.
We have a lot of issues of our own. Europe is considered to be pretty safe from the rest of the world, but we still have crimes here. And
Oh, you guys' knife crimes in Europe is insane.
as I said before,
Well, yeah, we don't have guns everywhere, so we have so criminals often have to resort for the next best option. It was also someone a few years ago that instead of a gun had I think a crossbow. He didn't kill anyone with the crossbow, but he sadly killed someone with a stabby stab weapon. Did I just dance on the grave? No, it's not meant to. I'm not making fun of the person getting killed. Okay, please don't think that.
for
Please.
Sweden, I'm looking at you. What's happening? Especially in
Svenska
big
drit.
cities, we have a lot of scams and pickpocketers, and Paris would be the first city that comes to mind.
Oh, Paris, bro. Bro, France is off my list, bro. Like, completely, which is fine, right?
Yeah, I heard like the customer. Yeah, in France, the customer service isn't that good. Isn't good at to foreigners. I've heard.
They're like, good. We don't want you here anyways. There's too many of y'all here, which is fine. I never planned on coming to Paris, but there's even less of a chance I'd ever be out there regardless. Because, bruh, like, France is cooked. All right, like. France is so cooked, other European countries talk shit about France, bro. Like, I have not heard very many good things about France at all, besides their baguettes are decent. Like, they're not even great. They're decent. But people are like, hey, if you do like a European trip, skip France. That's what I've heard.
Has this issue. Then Europe also has racial discrimination.
Oh, for surely. I mean, that's everywhere, bro. If you look like me,
It's more like targeted against Arabs. And like some of it is because like in Sweden they have many immigrants. I have heard that. I think like a good portion of them are the criminals. Criminals are like immigrants because because I think they are not actually really integrated that well, and like they suffer economic hardships, and like then some of them resort to crime, and also like they will end up living in like the same areas, and so like it's kind of they doesn't also like they doesn't integrate that much when like all when often many of them live in like one poor district, so like basically becomes a mini Pakistan. So like there isn't really that much Swedish. uh, like I'm not saying throw them out of the country. No, I'm not like that. But like we should and like country should integrate them better. Not so they're not like all immigrants have tons of immigrants have to live in one poor districts, and like yeah, so like people begins to resort to crime, and like they're just stuck with other people, and like under immigrants, like it basically just becomes they just bring over their culture, and yeah, we should integrate them better.
You're cooked. You're cooked. But that's fine. I don't give 5 fucks about that shit. I don't. Like, yeah, you're operating life on hard mode in some locations, and other locations it's a little bit easier. But if you play by the rules of the game, you won't have a bad experience. Trust me. As a dark person myself, I can attest to this. Just make sure you don't get offended easy, and you're good.
Some countries more than others.
Yeah.
But an interesting statement that I've heard is that we dislike or have prejudices against people from other countries rather than skin color, which I think the description also fits. So we also do have our problems.
More Muslims and stuff. Like Islam isn't a good religion, but like that doesn't mean that all Muslims are bad. Like it's definitely a good portion that's pretty bad, but like not all Muslims are bad. Just a portion of it that takes the Quran and stuff seriously. But like it's tons of shit in Quran that's fucking crazy. Uh, uh, like yeah, that's like I think it was like one of the things where like one day we Muslims are gonna kill the Jews, and they will hide behind rocks and trees, and then the trees and rocks will say, give their position and be like, hey, is a Jew behind me, kill him, like that. That's fucking crazy, but not all Muslims are like, they should be judged by like their character, not the Muslim. But anyway.
Problems. So here are some of my final thoughts.
Aww.
Well, if you're an
SpongeBob.
American living in America, you probably don't really care about the intricacies of being European and living in Europe, and that's okay. We don't know everything about you, and I don't think you should know everything about us. We have our own stuff to deal with, but I do think we can learn from each other. For example, having free public bathrooms.
Yo, free public bathrooms in Europe would be a W, bruh. Because I just asked earlier in this video, does every country in Europe force you to pay to go to the bathroom? Because like I showed off earlier, I got a lot of euro, bruh. I got a lot of euro. Which means I can go to the bathroom hundreds of times if I wanted.
At least here, like, not all public bathroom you have to pay, but like some of them.
To. I'm just saying.
Like public bathrooms, I mean, like in malls and stuff. It isn't just. It's almost no public bathrooms, like just standing there, like on a street corner or anything. And they who's just are there, then those I think you have to pay. Mostly.
I can go to the bathroom as many times as I want because I got that euro on me.
Or universal.
Oh shit! Hold on.
Healthcare. If you're planning on visiting European countries, I would suggest just looking up some stuff about what to do or what not to do, and some little language bits and pieces of saying please and thank you.
Yeah.
Or just in general, be more aware of your surroundings. Not just for Americans, but for anyone out there in the world. So if you like this video and you like...
So yeah. It's the end of the video. I think it's like 1 hour, 2 hours. Not. Anyways, like and subscribe. Yeah, I'm gonna post the original this video in the description. But yeah, like and subscribe, and as always, have a nice day and rest in peace, Fornaby.